got to kick it off with a killer to grab attention. Then you got to take it up a notch.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us.
Who are you?
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Cells. Interlinked.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Will, have you seen Batman Forever? Do you have a take on that film?
You know what's really funny is I grew up with that.
Okay, like, no kidding.
No kidding. I have a vivid memory of going to Blockbuster, which was like right down the street from where I was living at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, I think that came out when I was like 6 or 7.
It was 95.
Forever was the one that has
Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
That's right. Yes, I do remember. So we rented that, and I remember loving that movie, loving it. And I remember sitting there. It was me, my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother, because we all lived in the same house at the same time, around this time. And my grandmother vehemently hated Ace Ventura. Fuck.
Oh, Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah.
Right.
And so like every time he was on the screen, she had some sort of comment about it. It's like, this guy's so fucking annoying.
He is like up to 11 in that movie.
That's true. And I remember you telling me like Tommy Lee Jones was like, I don't condone your
Tommy Lee Jones like hated him so much on set, and Jim, like, while they were on a break from shooting, he like runs into Tommy at a restaurant, and he walks up to Tommy and he's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And he pulls him aside and he's like, "Please do not bother me. I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
That's what it is. Yeah. And I love that quote. That shit is so fucking funny to me. And like even Tommy Lee Jones is like fucking really going crazy on that.
He's
shit.
like doing his own Jim Carrey in the movie. Like, I love it. I get that it's now appreciated as camp.
Yeah, which definitely is.
So I loved it when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a lot of Schumacher backlash where people hated it, and Batman and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think people are able to appreciate it again.
Wait, was Robin not in that one?
Robin is in that one.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But the next one is called Batman
and Robin. That's right. And I remember that was two, because I grew up with the two Batmans that were done by Nightmare Before Christmas.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, thank you. I
Batman
grew up
and
with
Batman Returns.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I grew up with Batman and Batman Returns.
Same.
And I remember like loving those films. I was a big Batman kid when I was younger. Like I watched those. I watched the animated show.
Honestly, if you grew up in the 90s, it was hard not to be.
It's true.
Because there were so many good Batman movies.
Yeah,
from
100%.
1989 to 1995.
Yeah.
I don't like Batman and Robin. That was 97. But I love Batman Forever. Like, to this day. There was a time where I let the public backlash against the Schumacher films poison me.
You,
And like, honestly, it's a little bit of I think gay panic too, where people are like hating on those movies.
Oh, because it was the nipple suit.
Well, because everything Schumacher did was a little it was campy and silly. But I fully appreciate Batman Forever. I love it so much.
Well, so what I was going to say is, having grown up watching the Burton films and watching the animated show and knowing that Robin existed, I identified with Robin. I wanted to be Robin, you know? And so when they put him, this was the first film that he was in, I was like, oh, this is really cool. I get to see, you know, a live version of him. I get to see what happened to his family, because for whatever reason, I don't even know if that was like really covered in the animated show, or if it was like briefly covered. It was really cool to see a different Batman and having Robin in it. And there was those promotional mason jars that were cups that were sold
at McDonald's. Cups. Yeah.
And I had like almost all of them. They were so cool. Damn. You know, because, you know, my family knew I liked Batman.
Yeah.
And so I have a fond memory. I haven't watched it recently though. Not like in a very, 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 very long time.
I've got the 4K Blu-ray. It looks great.
Oh, does it? I bet it does. But yeah, that's like, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I also loved it. And it was one of the first films I was able to convince my parents to go to the theater and see, because I was like, I saw like a newspaper ad for it, because like my dad would get the Sunday paper.
Right.
And they would take out like huge movie poster promotionals in newspapers. And I remember pointing at it. I'm 5 years old. And I'm like, Dad, can we go see the new Batman movie? And I remember my parents being hesitant, but they were like, he really seems to want to go. And it is Batman, you know, because like the whole family was like, you know, into Batman.
Right.
And so I was able to talk them into it, and they hated it. But I had a ball.
I bet you did.
In fact, I remember I had so much Batman Forever merchandise was crazy.
Oh, I know.
Like they did market those movies to kids.
Oh, yeah.
And like that's the reason Tim Burton didn't do the third one, Batman Forever. because Batman Returns was so dark that there was like this big backlash by like parents. And because there was like a McDonald's like toy tie-in campaign, and that movie is fucking dark.
Yeah.
But they, you know, they make those movies to sell shit to kids.
Right.
And so they like forced Tim Burton out and brought in Joel Schumacher. He was kind of like a protege of Tim Burton, you know. Not a protege, but like was friends with, I should say. He's been making movies as long as Tim Burton has.
Right.
But
he did Roger Rabbit, did he not?
No,
that was Zemeckis, wasn't it?
Yes, that was Robert Zemeckis.
Sorry.
Schumacher did Falling Down. Michael Douglas, he's like a office worker that like gets pissed off and just starts like terrorizing Los Angeles.
No, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that movie's right up your alley. It's a very interesting movie to like reevaluate.
Okay.
Like today.
Sorry, the wacky last names got me. Zemeckis is a fucking wacky last name.
Oh, right. Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher was like very flamboyantly gay, if you couldn't tell from his movies.
Okay.
But also would famously be like on his commentary tracks on like DVDs and stuff, he would be like just naming people he slept with, like, and the extras and the crew. He'd be like, "Oh, I slept with the grip in this scene. I slept with the
Oh my god,
very gossipy and like apparently a big man slut kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, but like that's like abusing your power, dude. Hopefully, it was consensual.
I don't
allegedly.
I feel like it was consensual.
Okay.
I've not heard any like Me Too stuff about him.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure everyone is like, no, Schumacher was cool and like underappreciated in his time. You know,
that's wild.
He was just a very silly, flamboyant man who you know, got a little carried away sometimes. Batman and Robin, case in point to me. I feel like Batman Forever rides the line where it's like, it's fun.
Yes.
It's a little campy, but like, it's so fun. I am eating every time Jim Carrey and like Tommy Lee Jones are on the screen. You know,
they go nuts, and
like
like even the
Robin
colors are
too
like
much. Like I can enjoy it, but it's a lot.
Is it? Tell me, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, isn't it? Chill.
I don't know. Uma Thurman though,
great,
doing great in that movie.
Yeah, 100%.
She's doing great. I think Arnold is in a different movie. It feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on the Bane.
No, Bane I did not care for.
The Bane thing in that movie is rough.
Yeah.
Real rough.
It's not good.
I don't even like the Batmobile in that movie. It's like the worst Batmobile there's ever been.
I don't remember it.
It doesn't even have a top. It's just like
it doesn't have a top?
Convertible. And it's not interesting at all. The Batman Forever Batmobile fucking rules.
I can't remember which one that is.
It is, the Batmobile in People's Joker looks the most like it. It has like a blue underglow and like the engine bay is like a rib cage kind of thing. In a blue glow. It's sick as fuck.
Okay.
Anyway, all that is to say we are the exact same age as the writer and director as the People's Joker, Vera Drew.
I could have fucking told you that.
I clocked it immediately.
I knew because when she referenced like T for T, couples are really underrated, and she's like, but people don't think about that because they think about T for teen.
Yeah. And it does the ESRB voice.
Yes. And when that happened, I was like, this bitch is the same fucking age as me and you. Like 100%.
No, I clocked it immediately and then Googled it to be sure. Because there's a scene early on in the film where she's saying like, when I was young, I saw Batman Forever and it like had a big impact on me. And I was like, wait, me too. How old was Vera Drew? And I was like, oh, we're the exact same age.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, me and you are stay-at-home dads, not really doing anything, and this bitch is making fucking movies. Good for her.
Oh, God.
Vera Drew is her name?
Vera Drew. Yeah.
Vera Drew. Okay, gotcha.
I'm going to tell you right now, I am wholly in the bag for this movie. And I feel like this movie was like specifically catered for me.
While I was watching it, I was like, I'm getting a lot of these references, but even some of these cuts are way too deep even for me because I did not grow up reading the comic books.
Yeah.
And I know that you are, and like you are such a significantly more a bigger fan of the Batman than I am.
This movie is such a loving pastiche, you know, because it's both paying homage to Batman mythos, but then also just skewering it, you know? Mm-hmm. And she even takes a moment to like talk shit to Frank Miller, which I was so in for.
Yeah, I know, because you've turned off of him. He's a
full-blown fascist.
Yeah, I would say he's a fascist, isn't he?
Full-blown fascist.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with him.
Right.
But he has written some great comics.
Yeah,
and he has done a lot for the Batman mythos.
Yeah.
And they pay tribute to that because there is a whole scene, when Mr. J is giving his backstory and he's like, oh, I used to be Carrie. That's Carrie from Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller, like most famous Batman comic there is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Robin in that comic.
Gotcha.
And it's even drawn Whatever artist did that sequence is purposely emulating the Dark Knight Returns art, and it looks so good.
It looks really good.
It looks exactly like it, and it's such a treat to look at.
Yeah.
But they're just emulating the Frank Miller style of Batman.
Okay.
And it's so good.
So I felt like there was like three layers to this film.
At least.
At least. It's true.
And there's also the whole comedy nerd angle.
Yeah. Well, okay, so never mind. There's like 5 layers to this. Because this is somebody's personal life story.
Yep.
And then
a coming of age, like trans story.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's also a commentary on the world that we live in but like with a veneer of Batman on top of it.
With Batman mythos, like every single Batman movie and comic book and everything.
And like a shit ton of references to those things, but then tying those back to the formative years of our director, the storyteller.
Yes.
And holy fucking shit,
and man. Making fun of Joker, the film.
Yes. Yeah. It's dude,
it started as a send-up. From a spare bedroom in Central Florida, welcome to Debaser, a film podcast. I'm Jared Rusk, and I'm joined by my co-host Will Taylor. On the show, we explore both new and familiar movies as we bring you details and discussion about them, all in an effort to debase the films and ourselves. In today's episode is the 2024 indie comedy The People's Joker. Stay tuned. Same bat time, same bat channel. So yeah, Will, we're talking about The People's Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie is available to...
I believe you can purchase and rent it.
It's on VOD pretty much everywhere, like Apple, Amazon, Vudu, you name it. You can also just straight up pre-order like a Blu-ray, which I did after watching the film today.
Yeah, there's physical copies.
You can buy a physical. Well, you can pre-order a physical copy. It's coming out in like a week. Probably by the time this episode drops. Honestly, it'll probably be out.
Very good.
But I went and bought the Blu-ray after I watched it.
Good for you.
Or pre-ordered it. I can't wait for it to arrive. I'm so excited. I was so in the bag for this movie. Like I was excited to watch it when it first got announced.
Yeah, I was actually gonna. I want you to frame this the way that you framed it to me.
Okay.
When we talked about this, I want to say last week.
Yeah. When I was trying to sell you on it,
exactly.
Pitching it to you. Yeah. So this lady Vera Drew, like 4 years ago, like on a dare. And this is
dare.
It's referenced in the credits. Yeah, a friend of hers Venmo'd her like $12 and was like, "You should re-edit Joker and make it a better film." The Philip or Todd Glass movie.
Yeah, the one with Joaquin Phoenix in it. Yeah,
and from there it became like she just started making her own movie, and it, as we referenced earlier, the script eventually became almost a self-biographical, like coming of age trans story, layered in like every Batman mythos you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
While also being in commentary on the current world, where I guess is Trump Lex Luthor? No, Trump is Batman.
No, Trump's Lex Luthor.
Well, I thought Batman was Trump because he has a reality show.
Oh, maybe I don't know.
That's maybe too much.
That's too much. Yeah.
we're going to get too much in the muck.
You're jumping way ahead, but yeah.
It is so many things, but it is operating within the confines of copyright law. So this is the thing that like I know a lot of people couldn't understand. It's why this movie got so much publicity.
And it got delayed too.
Because it was screened at the Toronto International Film Festival last year, maybe the year before, and then it had to get pulled last minute because Warner Brothers sent a cease and desist letter.
It was 2020 because one of our
sorry,
2022. I'm so sorry. I misspoke because one of our friends who is transgendered had heard about it.
Oh, okay.
At that time, and had been trying to hunt down a copy of it. Yeah. And I told her that it just came out.
Right.
It just came out.
Yeah,
so I think she rented it.
It now came out for everybody in select theaters April 5th of this year.
Okay.
And then it just came out on streaming like July 30th. So like a week ago as of this record now.
Right.
And the Blu-ray will be out in like another week or two. And I'm so excited for more people to see this movie. It's so good. It is. I have not laughed this hard at a movie in a long, long time. But it's very... As the penguin says, it's aquatic taste. I fucking died when he says that.
The what?
So when she's talking to the penguin early on, he keeps making penguin puns, if you will.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about his comedy, and he says, it's aquatic taste. I fucking died. I was like, if that's what we're in for, I'm fucking ready for this.
At what time of night did you watch this?
It's the middle of the day.
Oh, okay.
It's the middle of the fucking day.
Like, I definitely did laugh.
But this is a midnight movie. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I watched it at like 10:30 on Sunday night after Game of Thrones, and it was like tonal fucking whiplash.
Oh, I bet.
And
or after House of Dragon.
Whatever. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But it did make me laugh a couple of times, but it wasn't like I did not laugh a shit ton because I was like, I guess I was really sucked in on the meta commentary.
Okay.
And like really trying to like dissect everything that's being shown to me because it's not just a Batman movie.
Yeah.
But it's a movie about this person's life.
Yeah.
And they're like doing so much.
Buried in parallels of like movies that she loved. Because there's a lot of Evil Dead stuff in here too.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah, the Necronomicon shows up like 4 times.
Yeah.
And then there's like straight up like Army of Darkness, like, drawings.
I did.
Where David Lee Harp is like, there's a prophecy that like someone is going to come and save comedy. And it's like, it's just like the Evil Dead Army of Darkness thing where he's standing on the hilltop with like the shotgun and the chainsaw. But it's a little Joker person.
I'll tell you right now, I don't like the Evil Dead movies. So that's why I guess I would just miss that shit.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But like 90% of the rest of the film is all Batman stuff.
Yeah.
It's so fucking delicious. It's exquisite. I just I'm gonna run out of like synonyms for this. So we should probably we've kind of hit on the synopsis a few times, but the real official synopsis is: an aspiring clown grapples with her gender identity and combats a fascistic caped crusader.
Oh yeah, that is
essentially what's happening.
I forgot, like when I went to pull it up on your Plex, that was the description. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
And then it started. I was like, oh no, this is fucking way more than that.
It opens with, and they always tell you not to do this in like screenwriting classes or in like even like novel writing and stuff. But like with the main character, the writer director, like addressing the camera head on
immediately
and not doing the yep, that's me, like. Like hacky kind of.
I bet you're wondering how I got here.
But it is. You can tell. Like, this must have been like a one woman show kind of thing that like kind of evolved into a screenplay, maybe.
Well, the way that you described it to me is like, somebody dared her with $12 to make a fucking
to re-edit the film Joker,
and you can tell like it's definitely not just that. Like, I bet you she started doing it. It was like, no, wait, there's something here that I could fucking do.
Right,
and then she went to a bunch of like artists that she knew to
yes, there was a lot of crowdsourcing for the art. In fact, they make a joke about how like we can't even afford to get the back half of this movie animated.
I can't. What was it like? Lorne Michaels doesn't have an ass. It's too expensive to fucking.
Oh
animate.
my god. Lorne Michaels is played by Maria Bamford, by the way. I don't know if you know who that is. She's a legendary comedian. She was one of the comedians of comedy.
Oh,
if you ever watched that back in the day.
I did. Yes.
Yeah, she was. She's one of the original 4.
Okay.
She's also in Lady Dynamite, which is an excellent little show that she had on Netflix that only lasted a season. But it's so fun. But she plays Lorne Michaels. It was just like a 3D animated.
Yeah. It's fucking weird.
Okay. I guess one of the main plot lines in this film is that our main character, Vera Drew, is trying to get the people's Joker
the Harlequin.
Joker the Harlequin is trying to get on UCB, which is
SNL.
Yes. But also the Upright Citizens Brigade, the other UCB in real life.
That's right.
Because I don't know.
She's Canadian, is she not? You said that this movie was shown at a Canadian film festival.
No, that's just where that major film festival is. No, she's American. I believe she went to New York and tried to get into UCB, as like many comedians do, because that's kind of like what you're supposed to do. That's like where a lot of comedians like start.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Although I know the UCB has like become a shell of itself since the pandemic, and like I think they've closed down a lot of stuff now, and people are out a lot of money that they paid up front for classes and stuff. But whatever.
Gotcha.
This is not. We shouldn't get into that.
No, I don't even know anything about that, so it would just be me listening to you.
Just me being a comedy nerd is how I know about that stuff.
Yeah, this movie was made for you. What the fuck? This is crazy.
I know so many people that were like thanked and like had like split-second cameos in this movie because of like, I'm just like, I love like all the comedy people, like the alternative comedy people that showed up in this. You know? But obviously it's supposed to be Upright Citizens Brigade and Saturday Night Live at the same time. You know?
Right.
And being named after UCB and then having fucking Lorne Michaels as like one of the main antagonists. So
I loved the first compilation of all the Jokers, and one of them was that fucking guy goes, "I'm the Joker, baby." I love that. I don't know who the fuck that guy is, but I love him.
There is, okay. there's a little jab that she makes about, okay, there's a few jabs at SNL, but one of them is like how the writing is really bad right now and very uneven.
Yeah.
And then I think it's David Lee Hart that just says like, I don't know, Jost, you know, and it's just like, I fucking hate Colin Jost so much.
Do you?
I feel like ever since he's gotten on that show, it's been real bad. Like SNL's had a lot of bad times, but I feel like ever since Colin Jost has been on the show, it's been abysmal.
Oh, I think he's funny.
I can't stand the guy.
I like him and Michael Shea.
I can't, and they make fun of both of them, but mostly they make two jabs at Colin Jost.
I did see that, yeah.
I can't stand Colin Jost. I do not know what Scarlett Johansson sees in him. They're married.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what she sees in him.
She likes white dudes with beady eyes and short brown hair. She was married to Ryan Reynolds.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was.
I just don't. I don't get him. He's not funny.
I think he is. I think that whenever they write jokes for each other for Christmas, it's the funniest that they
the
ever
only
are.
Time they're ever funny.
Whatever, man. I don't watch SNL fucking religiously, so you know,
I know.
give me a pass.
I quit watching it like 10 years ago though,
Okay.
because I just didn't like it anymore. After like my favorite era was like around 2008 when like it was Bill Hader, Fred Armisen, Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, of course, because those guys are fucking goats, all of them. Like,
yeah, they've all gone on to have like huge careers. Yeah. Like, to me, that was when Saturday Night Live was last at its peak.
I understand.
You know? Lonely Island too. That's where they came from.
That's true. Well, you can't like Bill Hader is so fucking good, and
legendary.
like everything that he does.
I think he's going to go down as one of the best cast members.
Dude, not just that, but he's like a fantastic like normal actor too.
Well, right, he's doing his own shit now.
Yeah,
absolutely. Anyway, I digress. They keep referencing, I think it's a network, maybe a streamer that like is the only place where comedy is legal, and it's Queepso.
Oh yeah, Queepso. Yeah,
that's Quibi and CISO.
I fucking knew Quibi had to.
Oh yeah,
I was
both
like,
are now defunct.
Yes, I was like, is this a fucking Quibi joke?
Yeah, and both have like when she wrote this. Yeah, I'm sure they were both active. But yes,
well, I know the pandemic killed Quibi.
Yeah, and CISO went down before that, even unfortunately. Gotcha. But that was like it was like I think NBC had a big
stake
in it. Yeah, because it had a lot of like SNL comedy stuff. But they hired a lot of comedians like pilots and stuff, and then it just went under and disappeared.
I gotcha.
So many people lost their shows to it. David Lee Hart.
I texted you.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, the moment I saw him, I was like, what the fuck? They got the Tim and Eric guy on here?
Yeah, there's a few Tim and Eric people in this. In fact, Tim Heidecker had a lot to do with the behind the scenes production of this film.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
It like, I remember when they were starting to show off more and more of the art, I was like, this is like very fucking out there. Like, this reminds me of like,
yeah, it's a lot of like mixed
Adult
media
Swim
stuff.
kind of shit.
100%. Because they're doing it on a shoestring budget, trying to get as many animators and artists as they can to like just contribute, because they ran out of money.
I'm not shocked that Tim Heidecker had a fucking hand in this shit.
Oh
dude.
yeah, there's a big like Absolutely Productions had like a big hand in it apparently, and he gets thanked in it a few times.
Oh, that's good.
Bob Odenkirk is also in it for a split second.
Fuck, did I missed all these?
I didn't even catch them either. I just read that they were in it, and I was like, I don't
where.
Yeah,
maybe it was a voice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were voices. Yeah. Early on when Vera is being sent to like a psychiatrist. Before she's even prescribed drugs.
Yeah.
The psychiatrist says, let's broaden our minds. And that's one of Jack Nicholson's quotes from the first Batman 1989 movie. Cause it's when Joker walks into the art gallery. It's one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
And he just goes, gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Music. And then they click play on the Prince song, which they also parody in this movie. And I fucking died. So she's doing the dance down the stairs scene from Joker.
Yes.
But to
the song from
a version, like, what is it called? It's a play on Party Man, which is the Prince song from the Batman movie.
Gotcha.
I forget what the new version is called, but it's so fucking good. I was dying. Like, and I had captions on, so I'm reading the lyrics like to the soon because I know exactly how it's going to go. Because I listen to that song all the time. Like, my wife gets so annoyed because I play it on the Sonos all the time. I love Party Man.
Serious.
Prince did an amazing soundtrack for that movie. Okay, and this movie acknowledges it. Oh yeah, Robert Wool does a cameo, like a cameo, like the website cameo.
Oh yeah, I remember like, what the fuck is this? Somebody paid him like $5 to say something, and they put in the goddamn movie.
So he's like a big character in the first Batman movie.
Oh, okay.
Robert Wool. He plays like a reporter that's friends with Vicky Vale.
Oh, okay.
And he's trying to expose how the Joker is going to kill everybody at the parade.
Yeah.
And I guess they like tried to pay him on Cameo to make a cameo in the movie, and they straight up insert a clip of him in a montage where he's like, I don't think you can legally do this.
That, yeah.
And then after the credits, they play the rest of it.
Oh no.
Yeah,
did they really?
Yeah. And he's like, I don't think you can technically do this, but like, I fully support you. I think this is a great idea, making like a trans coming of age story through like the Batman mythos. He's like, I think this is a great idea, but I don't think I can be in this. And then it says like, apologies to Robert Wool.
That's fucking awesome,
it's so
man.
Good. I was like, this is so funny on like 3 different levels.
See, this is why I'm so glad that we are talking about this movie, because like, dude,
you have to, yeah.
A ton of this shit would have gone over my fucking head because I don't watch these movies very often.
I know.
So,
but it was still entertaining, not knowing all the little things that she's constantly referencing.
But the thing that's getting me into this movie is her personal story,
right? And it's a very good story, and it's not one you see on film a lot, which was very nice.
Yeah,
I like how she even does like a good breakdown of like gaslighting. Like,
yes, it's like these are red flag number 1, red flag number 2, and like all of these different things.
Yeah,
and it felt just like kind of a peek into a world that I am definitely on the outside of.
Right, yeah, most of us are. Yeah,
and it was just cool. It was there was a lot of really cool shit that was going on, and like it was so fucking artistic, and it was so personal, but also like,
but not alienating.
Yeah, no,
like it was so
because she's hitting something. I think that's the cleverness of using Batman as a veneer for everything.
No, absolutely,
because like everybody knows who the fuck Batman is. Yeah. We've all seen all of these movies. He's a part of the cultural zeitgeist. Even if you don't get the
deep cut references, you at least understand like the top level what she's doing.
Yeah, and so like it makes it. I don't want to say palatable, because the film was fun to watch, but like it definitely makes it more digestible for people who do not share the same experience with her, able to like watch the film and relate in some ways.
Yeah.
I thought it was really clever.
Yeah.
Which clearly is clever. So explain to me because you're more into comedy than I am. Explain to me the statement of comedy is illegal except for whatever I guess is mainstream, and so in order to do comedy, we had to go underground. Like, is that what the anti-comedy movement is? Like, is this why Tim Heidecker and what's his name, who has that fucking talk show that you used to watch, Eric Andre? And like, and people like that, is that the reason why like these people, like, is Adult Swim a safe haven for people who want to do comedy but in a weird way?
I mean, even then, like, even to get on Adult Swim, like, you still have to have connections and like make it palatable to, you know, an executive at like a major broadcast network. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Adult Swim is one of the more safer and inviting avenues for like up and coming and out there artists.
Yeah.
But even then, like, you still have to know somebody to really get in the room, to get in the door.
Right.
That's why people like Tim Heidecker and Bob Odenkirk and stuff like that can be door openers, you know, for people like that, because they try to find new talent and bring them in.
Right.
But okay, I can say for sure the whole part where when she first goes to New York or Gotham City.
Yeah, she goes to Gotham, clearly in New York.
And attends her first like UCB meeting.
Right.
That's all like extremely on the nose.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. That's so many comedians go through that, where they're like, okay, yeah, to break into comedy, like I have to do like, you know, open mics and then like pay UCB a bunch of money to take like their improv classes. And like, if you don't have rich parents, you're going to struggle to do that. And it's probably not even going to do anything for you, you know?
Gotcha.
And they make jokes about all of that too, and within there. But no, it's comedy being a legal thing is kind of like a running joke among like the not mainstream comedians, you know, that like, oh, well, comedy is illegal and they're going to put us all in camp soon kind of thing, you know, because Comedy Bang Bang makes this joke all the time too.
I don't listen to them.
Well, the TV show as well on IFC, like I think the last season has a whole joke about like in 10 years, they're going to put all the Comedy Bang Bang people in a camp, and then like it's like a concentration camp for comedians, because comedy got outlawed. Like it's like a running gag. And like I'm gonna say alt comedy, not like underground comedy.
Right.
But just like not comedy that you see on like mainstream shows, and movies and stuff. And a lot of those people that I know had something to do with this movie, or at least like even after
they were
the fact,
tangentially
helped
like
produce it or had cameos. Right. And Scott Aukerman, the host of Comedy Bang Bang, has a cameo in this.
Oh, does
too.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He plays, I don't remember, but I remember seeing the credit and being like, I didn't clock him at all. But yeah, it's just like a running gag. Like comedy's gonna be illegal one day. But like you do have to pay like a ton of money to get through UCB, and so a lot of people are just like, no, like I'm not doing that, or you can't do it because you're fucking broke,
Right.
And so I think the whole thing was like, we're gonna open up a warehouse and just do our own comedy. But the idea that it's like illegal is both because she's the Joker, so they're villains. Like all of her friends are like Batman's rogues gallery, which was so fun.
It was great.
Just seeing the take on them,
dude. Except for Poison Ivy, like that thing was horrific.
Honestly,
look at. That thing was like scary as shit.
I loved how the Mad Hatter was just the fucking Disney like Mad Hatter. It was like a statue or something.
Parody law, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, we didn't fully.
You said that whatchamacallit.
Well, this whole movie. Is predicated on the idea of fair use.
Right.
Which is a carve out in American copyright law that if you are parodying something, it's fully satire, you are allowed to essentially use copyright or work around it, as long as you're using it for satire parody.
Transformative
but that's
works, yes.
Up for
interpretation.
Interpretation,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so when she first made this movie, Vera Drew, the idea was like, well, I'm going to make this movie under the pretext of fair use. That way I can still, take it to shows and sell the movie,
right.
Or take it to festivals. And then she takes it to TIFF and it gets announced that it's going to be screening at TIFF. And people are like, holy fuck, like this is amazing. And then it had one screening, and then Warner Brothers sent a
cease and desist
letter that was interpreted technically as a cease and desist.
Okay.
But it was actually like just a warning letter, but it was enough that everybody freaked out and they pulled the movie from the festival.
I got you.
And apparently it was a really bad time. She references it in the credits and says that like things got really tough. And they kind of flipped out and didn't know what to do. But they were able to, I'm sure there were lawyers involved. I don't know. I don't think it's public what really came down, but fortunately the movie survived. And it is now out there and in the public, and thousands and thousands of people have been able to see it and will be able to see it. So Warner Brothers either didn't have a case because the fair use was correctly applied or whatever, or I don't know. I don't know if there was a settlement. I don't know if there's an agreement. I don't know. It's not public. But thank God this movie survived. And it's out there.
Agreed.
And because I don't want to give Warner Brothers too much credit and just be like they didn't sue them or anything, because maybe they wanted to. And Vera Drew's legal team were able to be like, you can't, like, fuck you.
I'm
like,
sure that they did. I mean, like,
I would honestly expect it. Yeah.
Warner Brothers missteps are so like,
well, ever since
recently.
Zaslav took over, it's been a fucking shit show over there.
Well, what I was going to say is like, it's been so bad that even like The Boys referenced it in the season finale that came out like a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Like we decided to scrap this movie because we'd make more money off the off the
the Batgirl movie famously.
Yeah, that's what they're referencing.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Warner Brothers did that to that and this fucking like Wile E. Coyote movie.
Yeah.
And like something else they did to like three different fucking films.
Yep.
It's just like stop.
Yeah, I don't want to run through the plot because it's convoluted.
For sure. Well, because it is their personal story.
But through the context of like every Batman film.
Yeah. Do you want to just say like certain things that you enjoyed?
Well, absolutely. I called out a lot of the jokes I really enjoyed, but let me get to the critical response.
Okay. Oh yeah, let's hear that.
So the film has a 95% critic score.
Fuck yeah, let's go, dude.
And a 71% audience
well,
score.
it's very
it's very yeah. It's aquatic taste. What can you say?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Just click now.
Yeah.
So for the Chicago Sun-Times, film critic Richard Roper wrote, like no superhero movie before it, the subversive coming-of-age story reinvents the villain's origins with a melange of visual styles and a barrage of gags. And over on Letterboxd, Griffin Newman, star of Amazon's The Tick, wrote, the best movie ever made about the Joker in the same way that the Lego Batman is the best movie about the Batman.
I know. That's good.
I know exactly what he means because the Lego Batman movie is real good. It's not my favorite Batman movie, but it is like almost illegal how good it is. Like it shouldn't be that good.
So I mean, like that's the thing though, is you take this property that has, been around since like what, the 70s, 60s, 40s? Are you fucking Detective Comics was in the 40s?
The first Batman detective comic was in the 40s.
Holy fucking shit. Okay, well anyways,
isn't that crazy?
A character that's been around for 80 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Over 80 years.
Yep.
And you take his entire rogues gallery and his story and you put it on its head and make it fun, even though like Batman's clearly fun, but make it unserious, like an unserious retelling of this character and putting him in like situations that the character's never been in before. Of course, it's going to be entertaining. Like when you take the piss out of something that's serious, it's going to be funny, And there's so much to pull from. Like I remember watching the Lego Batman film, and they bring out Mustard or Condiments King, and shit like that.
They do all kinds of obscure villains.
The Harley Quinn show is doing the exact same thing. Like, hey, isn't this side character like really fucking funny? Let's give him a bigger role than he ever deserves, And that's the same thing with this film. They poke fun at a lot of like just missteps, like the Mr. J, who is referencing
the Jared
Leto's Joker and shit, like
has damage across his forehead.
It's so funny because it is a parody of something that we all collectively fucking hate. Like so many people hate that Joker, me included.
Yeah.
So
I also think there is a shout out to the Harley Quinn animated show, because there is one of the segments they keep cutting to is like these two reporters like on TV.
Yes.
And they reference like, it's so clever that they made Batman the villain in this. I feel like that was a shout out to the Harley Quinn show.
Probably. But that is an excellent, how you say, mainstream representation.
Yeah.
That the Lego Batman movie and this movie are also did. Like it is almost more positive to do Batman like this now instead of how we used to perceive him because of just like, I don't know how big of a character he is.
Did you notice that Vera Drew has a Watto tattoo on her bicep? On her forearm, I mean. No, bicep. Yeah, up here.
No, I did not know.
Yeah.
I did not notice that. That's
I noticed it when she was like almost a close up, but enough that you could see like her upper torso.
Yeah.
And I looked and there's a fucking Watto over there.
God damn.
And I was like, holy fuck, I hope Will notice this.
I want to hear the story behind that.
Oh, I know. Right?
Yeah.
I want to interview her so bad.
Get her ass on here.
It would probably just be like when Chris Farley would interview celebrities on SNL and just be like, wow, so the Terminator, huh? To Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's a cool movie.
No, it would be fun to hear like the un-Batman-fied version of her story.
Oh,
like,
right.
Get into more in depth of her struggles as a burgeoning comedian and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like how
absolutely
how this movie was such a fucking hit, and I don't know how maybe.
Well, and her story's only gotten even more fascinating because of the release of this film.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like she made waves, and because of the whole Warner Brothers thing at TIFF.
Yeah,
like,
it got the Streisand.
She calls it out in the credits. Like that was so much publicity that we wouldn't have got otherwise.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, Warner Brothers.
I want to specifically call out too. You can watch this film if you don't want to look it up on VOD. You can just go to thepeoplesjoker.com and find out where to see it, or even just purchase it there. Also, they did a collab with Super Yaki, my favorite like t-shirt maker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They have merch at superyaki.com.
Cool.
It's SUPERYAKI. I love Super Yaki. My wife and I have so many Super Yaki shirts, and stickers, and even a couple posters.
Yeah.
That are Wayne's World posters from Super Yaki.
Oh, okay.
But they did the People's Joker shirts for this film.
Nice.
And I like both of them. One of them is white and it says, "I watched the People's Joker and now I'm trans." And the other one is all black and it's long sleeve. That one's the one I think I might get. And on the sleeves, on the right sleeve, it says, "Clowns want me." And on the other sleeve, it says, "Cis fear me."
Jesus Christ. I forgot Alex Jones was in this one.
Alex Jones is like a main character or a major character in this movie. And it's a really good impression.
It is a very good impression.
There were so many. Yeah, there's so many like parodies of like real people.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember
so
texting you and being like, "Yo, she called Kamala Harris."
Yeah, there's a little call. Yeah, Kamala Harris is Harvey Dent and is going to be president in the background.
Yeah,
there.
like something happened and now she's running for president instead.
Lex Luthor died.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess Lex Luthor is Joe Biden. So silly. What a silly! I cannot believe she called that dude. What a so prescient.
Yeah. There is also soundtrack. All the songs used in the film are excellent.
Yep.
One of them is Jokerfied by an artist named Bugmain that my wife and I have been fond of for a few years.
Bugmain.
I can't even get into Bugmain here.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. He is he's a trip in himself. Like you want to talk about like alternative comedy, like Bugmain. Dude.
Okay, man.
He's like a recurring character on another podcast I listen to, and that's how I found out about him.
Okay.
And he's just like, it's like his persona, this guy.
Okay.
It's so good. Lots of great songs in this film. In fact, there is a cover of the Gary Glitter song Rock and Roll Part 2, which you know from the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. That's what he dances down the steps to.
That's right, yep.
And a lot of people at the time rightly pointed out how fucked up that is. Because Gary Glitter is a fucking pedophile.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Because even in the credits of this film, they list the song Rock and Roll Part 2, and then they say, written by a very bad guy, don't Google it. Yeah. Because I was crawling through the credits, like hitting pause and like reading everything. I even read all the special things. It's like 4 different screens long. It was great.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I was trying to see like all the people I knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie was just perfectly like targeted at me. If I was also trans,
oh yeah, this would be right up your alley.
I would be like, this movie is my identity.
Are you sure you're not now?
I mean, I had to think about it.
So one of the things that I really liked about this film, and once again, I was more interested in her personal story rather than the Batman stuff, just because
it's incredibly endearing, like from the get go.
My favorite thing that something that I thought was like clever was that she constantly bleeped out her dead name.
Yes,
except for
until a point.
Yeah, except for when she's getting into a fight with her partner, and her partner uses that name
very pointedly.
Yeah,
and I think it makes it hit that much harder.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I thought that was very clever.
Yeah.
And then to like, I don't know, like, because it's really hard for this fucking Batman shit, because like I don't know all of it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like because I know Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, I don't even know how the fuck you speak.
It actually depends.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I remember like watching the Nolan films and it's Ra's al Ghul, and then in certain video games,
when
it's
that
Ra's al
lady
Ghul.
at the party near the end of Batman Begins introduces him to Bruce Wayne, she goes, "What was your name again? Raish?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're not Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul's dead." And then she just disappears.
But like, whatchamacallit, having him being the penultimate end of UCB.
Like, right. Well, he trains
her exactly
to honestly eclipse it. You know, to like to. What does happen there?
She goes on and she does.
But when she explodes from inhaling all the Smilex,
that's
when she goes on her trip.
Well, I mean, that's the end.
And meets Mick. I can't even
Mixie.
Even she can't pronounce it, which was so great.
Mix.
Yeah,
Mixie the Mixoprotozole thing.
Do you know who that character is?
No,
that's a real DC character.
You're fucking kidding.
No,
me.
I'm dead serious. Everything in this movie is a deep cut.
Jared, I can't fucking do it, dude.
So I first got introduced to that character. I had a like Superman Silver Surfer crossover comic in like the mid 90s. And
wait, Silver Surfer?
Yeah.
Like the Marvel?
No, DC and Marvel used to do stuff like this.
I knew about a lot of crossovers. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still have it in a bag somewhere.
Probably worth a lot.
Maybe. God, fuck. I hope so. I should pick it up. But they introduce to me Mixolpix.
Yeah.
I know I'm butchering
Miss
that,
Mixie.
If you look at it, you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
And then Marvel had their own version of that guy. Or that person, I guess. Maybe I don't even think they have a gender, to be honest with you. Like I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah,
too.
the person.
It's MX dot, Mixolpix or something.
Yeah.
And like I think Marvel has their own version. I don't remember that one's name, but it looks just like them but green, kind of.
Sure.
From what I remember.
Yeah.
And they're orchestrating the crossover. Like they're the reason Superman and Silver Surfer switch places and have the whole comic, exist.
Gotcha.
And I remember being like, I don't know what this is, but like that was my introduction to the idea of like a metaverse and like multiple universes.
Yeah.
And DC had Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that gets referenced in this, where Mixelpix is like, these are all the different universes.
Yeah,
and
we can do whatever we want. Yeah,
which everyone knows now because of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's. And Marvel has fully embraced this now. And I guess Deadpool does it a little bit too.
Oh, maybe. Whenever you want us to talk about the movies that we watched this weekend, I'll tell you all about it.
Well, let's wrap up The People's Joker.
Sure, yeah.
I loved it so fucking much.
Clearly. But here's the thing.
I cannot wait to tell everybody I can about this movie. Yeah. I'm so glad we're covering it for the podcast.
Oh, of course.
Because I want to broadcast
I appreciate you telling me about it, because I would not have known about it any other way. Yeah. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself too. I thought that was a really clever film. I liked the once again the overlay of Batman on top of this as a way to get people who may not be interested in hearing a story about a transgender
to hearing
person.
A trans person's like story,
and brings them in and makes it fun and funny, and
it is
relatable.
I can't stress enough like how funny this movie is. It's so like I feel like even like real comedies coming out this day and age don't have as many jokes as this movie has.
Sure. I think that you might have thought it was funnier because you got, I think, more of the references. Because I definitely, I'll tell you,
that helps.
Yes. I did think it was funny, Jared, but even I was like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like I even told this to our transgender friend who was really excited to see it. I was like, yeah, it's kind of funny. And she goes, that's very homophobic. It's kind of funny. She was obviously,
well, they make jokes like that in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
When the penguin keeps saying like, wait, is that transphobic?
Yeah.
And then later when Vera Joker is like, a joke towards the end where she's like, we need to hack into the network. And the penguin is like, do we even know hackers? And she goes, we're in a warehouse full of depressed trans women. There's got to be someone here that went to like a coding academy. Yeah. And she goes, I think that joke was transphobic. No, penguin says, I think that was transphobic.
Yeah.
But goddamn, if that didn't hit, because do I know some people?
Yeah. If I had to insert myself as a character in this, I was the fucking penguin.
The same.
Yeah. Like that was me on the outside.
And, well, it was like the major cis character in the movie.
The ally. Yeah. But like there's a lot of like really clever shit that's happening in this movie on top of a endearing story. Fuck, I was gonna say something else and I've already forgotten it.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I gonna say about this fucking movie? I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah.
If you're a Batman fan, like if you're a hardcore Batman fan, like fucking you are, I think you'll really love this movie.
Absolutely.
Film. The animations, all of the different animations, this film felt like it could be. You know how like last episode I talked about Gemini and that was my plug.
The short film that like really blew your mind. Yeah.
This movie, if it was shorter or if they did supercuts, could 100% be in Meow Wolf. In their little theater thing in Colorado, and I would have absolutely sat down and watched the entire fucking thing and felt like my entire afternoon was gone.
Yeah.
This definitely felt like, especially with the animations, indie as fuck, which obviously it was.
No, it's to the point where like it's their aesthetic.
Yeah.
But like the few scenes that are like actually like actors being filmed, they're on a green screen.
Yes.
You can still see like the outline of the green screen around the
objects. That's like endearing. That's like
and it works. Like it's so cool. And then they just like CGI in like really cheap like sets, and like they try to make it look like all the different films. And God, I was so on board when they start doing the Batman Begins like practicing, like when Bruce Wayne's like training with Liam Neeson's character.
Yeah.
And she's doing that with David
Russell
Lee
Cole.
Park to learn how to be a better comedian.
That's right. Yeah.
I was like, I was already like fully in the bag, but I was like just eating it up wholesale. I was just like, this is so fucking good.
Yeah.
I was having such a good time. And I didn't get into this, but I know you and I both know David Lee Park from the Tim Heidecker.
Yeah, he's the Salome guy.
He's a lot of different
puppets.
People. But,
this is true. He is a lot
So he is a comedian in his own right, and Tim and Eric found him and decided to put him in their show. And
he's a weird guy.
Yeah.
He's a fucking weird guy.
But he's like endearing in a weird way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not trying to say like he's weird, don't watch him.
No,
like, he's fucking weird, and it's the shit that he does cracks me up.
Yeah. He's so enigmatic,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, also the the Penguin makes references to, he's trying to describe his comedy early on, and he starts naming people, but then he's like, and Louis C.K., but before the stuff.
Yeah.
I laugh so fucking hard at that.
Yeah, if you're definitely into Batman, if you're definitely into like the comedy scene, this is shit's for you. Like this was tailor made for you. It's kind of scary, actually.
I cannot wait. I'm going to be so annoying about this movie to people.
Do you want to talk about what we watched?
Yes. Speaking of comic book movies.
That's a good way to segue.
I understand you saw Deadpool
and Wolverine.
Recently.
Yeah, I did.
What was that about?
I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Like, are you asking me like what did I like it, or what's the movie about?
I mean, okay. If you haven't seen the film yet and you don't want to get spoiled,
turn off the episode.
Yeah, you could probably end it here. Apologies. We love you. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
But do you want to give like just a top level 5-sentence synopsis?
So
you don't need to run through the whole plot.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that to you.
Disney bought all the Fox properties.
Right. This is the movie that apparently merges the Fox Marvel universe.
Yes.
Right.
So this movie also has like meta commentary in it.
Well, it's Deadpool. He knows he's in a movie.
Right. But I mean, it's like it's more than that. Does that make sense? Like, it's more than that. Is it
like She-Hulk?
No. It's different than She-Hulk. Like, you know how She-Hulk like broke through the panel and was able to talk to like the robot,
the Kevin Feige robot.
Yeah. This is different. So like if you've watched the Loki thing, the Loki show, there's a thing called the TVA, right? And it's like this group of individuals.
I did see that someone asked, "Do you need to see all the Marvel films to get this?" And they're like, "No, you just need to see Loki." And we're like, what?
Yeah, it's true, but it's clever. Like I don't know how to describe it, but let me just get through this.
Yeah, sorry.
So the TVA is this organization that lives outside of time, and it makes sure that all of the timelines stay good. Right? If there's like a divergence, they go in there and they correct it so that the timeline stays straight. Okay. And the TVA in this film is essentially Disney. Like.
Okay.
And so the plot is Deadpool gets captured. He's brought to the TVA and they're like, hey, you've been selected. You can be a part of the Avengers. We're going to give you a new suit. We're going to give you new gear. We're going to put you in a completely different timeline because you've been deemed worthy. Isn't that great? Yay. And the reason why we're doing this is because your timeline is slowly dying because its anchor being, which is like the reason why the timeline exists, has died, and your timeline is slowly going to go away because there's no stories to tell, yada yada. And he's like, well, just put me back. And it's like, oh, it's not you, it's Logan. And then they show the clips from the Logan film.
Oh my god!
From what was it, 2016? Was that 2016?
That sounds right.
Yeah. I remember that coming out, and I had to share a hotel room with like one of my friends that was like really. He was not good. He's
going through it.
He was definitely like going through it. Like this was for a Warhammer weekend, and let me just say that his weekend ended with him throwing his keys to his Mustang like across the parking lot, losing them, and then couldn't get into his car, so he kept kicking the doors in anger. Yeah, he was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, cinema is over because the Logan film came out.
Yeah.
But anyways, so there and you start kind of like seeing like, oh, this is kind of weird, and then he refuses to do that because he doesn't want any of his friends to die, because they're gonna say, oh well, it's gonna dissipate in 1,000 years, but I like to do things a lot faster. This is Tom Wambsgans. I don't remember the actor's name, but Tom Wambsgans from Succession.
Mr. Darcy.
Yes.
I don't remember his name either.
Well, his name is Paradox in this, and he's like, I want to do things quicker, so we're just gonna obliterate your timeline, but hey, don't worry about it, right? You get to go be with the Avengers. Lucky you. And Deadpool doesn't like this, and he gets sent to what is essentially a dumping place for the Marvel characters.
And that's where the 20th Century Fox logo is on the beach that we keep seeing in all the
It's a wasteland. It's a wasteland of forgotten things. That's kind of like what it was in the Loki show. Like, there's a point in time where Loki gets sent to this wasteland where all of the other Lokis, the versions of Lokis, have been sent because they're always scheming and they're too erratic to let stay
too
in.
Mischievous to
exactly
be let out.
Exactly. He like uses a little data pad to go to a bunch of different universes to find a specific Logan who is the Wolverine, to bring back. And he runs into like the Wolverine that fights the Hulk, and he runs into the Wolverine who's like pinned on a giant X with a bunch of skulls around him, which I guess was a comic book cover.
Yeah.
He finds a Wolverine that's got an eye patch, who's a gangster. He finds a Wolverine who's missing his left hand. His left hand is like gone and has a metal thing over it. I guess that's one of the Wolverines was missing his fucking hand. Who knows? It was probably a 90s one.
You don't sound like a real fan there, Will.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, man. I didn't grow up with comic books. Like I was too fucking broke or poor to actually get into comic books and stuff. But there was like a bunch of different references to a whole bunch of different Wolverines, and Deadpool finds one who is drunk and sad, and he doesn't put up much of a fight. And he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to grab this one. Brings into them like, here, I've got a Logan. Send me back to my universe. And then they both get sent to the dumping ground. And then you start to realize this is where Disney, put all of the properties that they acquired from 20th Century Fox and have done nothing with them.
Yeah.
And so you have like, can I say some of the...
Oh yeah, you're already spoiling it. Yeah.
Okay. So they have like Chris Evans show up, and they're like, "Oh, it's Captain America," and then he goes flame on, and it's Johnny Storm from the first Fantastic Four, which was awful. That movie was terrible, and so was the second one.
I was gonna say there were two of them.
Yeah, the Silver Surfer one I never even saw.
Oh yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's Silver Surfer in it too.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, he's the voice. He's not the mocap, I guess. But
and then like they get captured by a bunch of mutants, and oh my god, it's Pyro from the X-Men trilogy, and they've got a guy that's looking like Toad, even though that's definitely not Ray Park, because Ray Park is big and frumpy now.
Yeah. And
they get taken to Cassandra Nova, who I guess is a character in the X-Men series. She was Charles Xavier's twin, but she was removed from the womb.
This is deeper than even I know about.
Yeah, dude, I don't know anything about this, but apparently she was removed from the womb in this universe by the TVA before she could come out, because they knew she was going to be such an existential threat. Jeez. And they've kept her in this dumping ground for years, and she's like psychopathic. Whomever she is playing her is doing a fucking fantastic job, and they make her creepy as hell. Like she's got like a bunch of psychic powers, and she rips the skin off of Johnny Storm, and he falls to the ground and just like bones and organs. It's fucking nasty as hell. So Deadpool and Wolverine escape. They run into another Deadpool that is just Ryan Reynolds without his fucking hat on, and he's got like a long hair and a man bun, and he's really nice. It's weird. He's like a hippie. He's called Nice Pool, whatever. And eventually, Deadpool and Wolverine get saved by a mysterious figure, and when they come to, you see a fucking Psy, which is like the weapon that Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles uses, and it's fucking Elektra. It's Jennifer Gardner as Elektra.
Yeah.
And Jared, I like started freaking out. I was like, holy shit, that's a deep cut. That's really cool. And then fucking...
Well, that's important because she was supposed to get her own movie after the Daredevil movie,
film.
Like
she did
2001. When was that?
Did she not? I thought she did get her own film.
No, I don't think it ever happened.
No, hold on a second. It definitely did.
It did?
Yeah, and it flopped like crazy.
I thought it was supposed to, but then it never did because Daredevil actually didn't do well.
Elektra film. Yeah, 2005.
Oh, it did happen?
Yep, there it is right there. Jesus. And there she is. There's Jennifer Gardner.
Never mind.
Yeah, this movie was bad. This is like
Daredevil was bad.
Around the same time as it's got an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all. Yeah.
But anyway, so like she shows up, and that's really exciting. And then fucking Wesley Snipes shows up, and that's really exciting as Blade.
As Blade.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, as Blade.
And when I heard about this on Twitter, I got very upset.
Well, it was really exciting. And then out of fucking nowhere, here comes Channing Tatum as fucking Gambit with the best Cajun
/ worst.
Yeah, best / worst, yes, Cajun accent ever. And it's so fucking good and exciting.
Which is very important too, because
Channing Tatum has been trying.
He definitely never got a movie.
Yeah, he's been trying.
He wanted to.
Very hard to get a Gambit movie off the ground, much like how Ryan Reynolds tried to get a Deadpool movie off the ground and like got shuttered.
Yeah,
at every fucking
that was like it was like a long running thing on Reddit too about how like Channing Tatum has been trying to be Gambit for years. And like he can't get it off the ground basically. Yeah,
which is so unfortunate because the suit fantastic. He does a great job.
It looks exactly like the damn cartoon.
Yeah, it does, and it's great. And then they've got Daphne Keane, who was X-23 in the Logan film. They got her.
She is it. Okay.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like, is she in it or not kind of thing. I remember
she's in it. Out. And and you know what's funny is like, Hugh Jackman could have really phoned in his performance, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He did a really good job. And there was like there's a scene where he is having a heart-to-heart with her, and it's like really emotional and really well done.
Oh yeah.
You know, but anyways, like
I've seen I've seen a clip too from the movie where he completely chews out Deadpool for being unserious.
That scene is so good.
Yeah, no, I've seen it posted because people are like, the movie like gets really real here, even though like the whole thing is like kind of being funny. But then you can tell like this is kind of Hugh Jackman yelling at Ryan Reynolds a little bit. It feels like too, you know, about like how unserious he is about shit.
Yeah, it was so good. And like I remember at a certain point he's like, "You did all of this for not and just for a fucking stripper," and it's like, whoa, you know, it was really silent like in the film, in the theater, and all that stuff. And then you know Ryan Reynolds is like, "Okay, I'm gonna fight you, or I'm gonna hurt you now.
I'm gonna fight you now."
Yeah, and then the fight was like, you know, all the action was fantastic, except for like. It got a little, you know how Marvel films are.
I don't like the guy that directed this. I don't think he's that great.
I think he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Like it was good. Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot. It had very fun and funny moments. Like I laughed so fucking much in this. It was, you know, fun. Fun is back in the theaters, guys. But also had like a lot of heart to it too. And like, you know, I don't particularly care for Ryan Reynolds. I remember, you know, growing up, like really being, displeased with his existence, you know, and I genuinely hate Deadpool as a character. I do not like his comic books. I did not like him.
Don't like whenever you see a cosplayer at a con.
I'm so glad that like that has really died off. I don't know if this film is going to inject any, you know, life back into that, but going to conventions from 2008 to, you know, now, like you would see so many fucking Deadpools and all of them would use the suit and the character as a shield to do really fucking dumb and annoying shit at conventions,
including sexual assault.
Yep. Yeah. And I genuinely disliked it.
Yeah.
And I remember when the first movie came out, I was kind of apprehensive to see it because I don't like the character. I just don't like him, you know. And but I really liked Marvel films, and I was like, I'm gonna give this one a shot. And I was turned into a believer. I still don't really care for the character, but I know that the movies are going to be fun and funny. And this one was no exception. I really enjoyed this. And as you said earlier, how like everybody's, you know, knows what the multiverse is thanks to Spider-Man and whatnot. And even in this film, it exists. Ryan Reynolds, or I guess Deadpool, is like basically being like, I'm here to save the Marvel franchise because you guys have been really fucking up with this whole multiple timelines thing, and like nobody cares about that. You got to stop doing it. Essentially, like he definitely used his platform to say some shit about the Marvel as a whole, which was fun and funny.
I wonder if Marvel's actually, I don't think they are, especially because they just had a fucking huge showing at San Diego Comic-Con where they announced that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Dr. Doom. And feels like a Hail Mary to save them from the whole
Jonathan Majors.
King
the Conqueror.
Like blowing up in their face, obviously. But like they're getting too convoluted to the point where they're just as bad as the comic books.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole, I think, simplicity, why people enjoyed them was like, you can go into these movies not knowing anything about the character and enjoy it. But if you did know something about the character, you were more. You could enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah,
like there were like knowing nods and references for you to catch.
Yes,
but general audiences could walk in with like no understanding of the character and like know what they needed to know. And now they're getting to the point where like, oh, well, you need to see this season of this show.
Yeah, like
this
you had to watch Loki
movie
in order to understand what the TVA was.
Well, and I don't just mean for Deadpool. I mean for like all of them.
Oh, no, I understand. I totally understand. And like, yeah, that's kind of a problem. But also, like, when you think about it, if you're taking this character, right, and putting them to film, and you're trying to find a new avenue for a movie.
Are you talking about Deadpool?
No, I'm just talking about Marvel in general.
Okay,
if you're trying to find a new avenue for a movie, it is so easy to just look at what the character has done in the comics, especially like modern comics, and just make a movie based on that. And if you're following the comics, then you're going to end up following the comic formula and you're going to have convoluted movies. This was a natural progression that they were going to hit no matter what. And like, yeah, it is kind of alienating to general audiences. Case in point, I know that we don't have the Ant-Man episode because
it's gone.
It's gone. The audio on it was pretty fucking bad. But when we saw that fucking Ant-Man movie, there was a lady not 5 fucking seats away from us being like, "Who was that?" When King the Conqueror was on screen,
and could not follow.
They had no idea.
Yeah,
you know, and so like, yeah, that is bad, and they definitely need to do something about that. I don't know what bringing RDJ as Doctor Doom is going to do for that, but I mean, I'm here. I'm gonna fucking see it, you know.
Apparently there is a comic where
there is, Iron Man is Doctor Doom, 100%.
Yeah, but also like there were people saying like, well, that doesn't seem to be what's happening here because his name, they said he's Victor, which is not, you know, Tony Stark, but
we will see.
Who fucking knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who cares? We'll see what happens. But one thing that me and my wife kind of said on our way back from watching Deadpool was like, A, how much fun it was to have seen it, and B, we had, or at least me and her, had not seen a Marvel film in theater for over a year. Because the last one that we saw in theaters was Ant-Man. You know, the Marvels had come out, and I didn't. Oh fuck! It was Guardians of the Galaxy, but that was a year. Sorry, excuse me. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was pretty good.
But you're used to seeing them like every 3 months.
Exactly. We didn't go see the Marvels. Like I didn't watch that until it came on, you know, Disney Plus. Yeah. We haven't kept up with the shows. I tried to watch Secret War and it was awful. You know, we haven't watched the season 2 of Loki, even though like I've heard it's really good. You know, and we've taken a break. We've taken a step back from all of those films, and it made this one that much better, I guess. Yeah. Like my ass is going to be in the seat to watch the next Captain America film because I like Anthony Mackie. I like, you know, Sam as Captain America, and I'm really interested in seeing like what they do with him. They're introducing the Red Hulk. That's really cool. It's got Harrison Ford in it. He seems to be like not phoning it in. You know, I'm interested in seeing what they do with it. And then they've got my ass in the seat for the next one too, because I like the Thunderbolts. I like Taskmaster. He's my favorite Marvel character, even though he's a girl in these movies. And I want to see him do cool stuff on the TV. If they kill him off, I'm going to be very fucking mad. But, you know, c'est la vie, right? I guess the Marvel films have got me in a chokehold, but just me, I think, you know?
Well, they seem to be losing their appeal to general audiences. Like, it seems like they're losing their fervor. That Captain America movie was supposed to come out like a long time ago.
Well, the pandemic, the writer's strike, and reshoots happened. Yeah.
I feel like all those movies came out already. Everything that got held up by all that has already come out.
I don't know.
That movie in particular had a, you know, because like the McDonald's campaign has rolled out months ago.
Yeah, it did.
For a movie that isn't even, like, when is that coming out?
It comes out, I think, in 2 months.
So like November? October?
Yeah, something around the time.
That's fucking
I know. Trust me. I understand. It got pushed back. I really did enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine. It had a lot of heart, and say what you will about Ryan Reynolds, he loves the character. This has been like his fucking thing.
Do you think this is his send off though, or is this?
Well, you know what's funny is a lot of people are saying that this is the last time he's going to show up, and to a degree, I bet that is the case. If he does show up in a film, it'll be a cameo,
but it won't be like Deadpool 4, basically.
I don't know. I don't think that here's the thing, like the way that the movie ended, whatever, like, it is so stupid, but it was also a tongue-in-cheek thing. Like the person who's the head of the TVA is like, hey, not only did you save all of the timelines, but you saved yours and it's stronger than ever. You know, kind of hinting that like he is now the anchor being, and he deserves. Well, shut up. And he deserves to have.
Listener, I was rolling my eyes.
To have more films is essentially like it's leaving the door open. I don't know. I have no idea. If they do, cool. I'm sure it'll be fun. I can turn my fucking brain off and laugh at the silly
oh god
button dick jokes.
Somebody was not on Twitter for the Deadpool turn your brain off discourse this last few weeks.
I don't go on Twitter because
I know. That's why I said
it's a bunch of fucking losers on Twitter. Yes, I'm looking at you, Jared.
Hey, come on. The People's Joker was definitely targeted to Twitter users.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't fucking get it either. Just kidding. But like, it was fun, man, and I'm sure he'll show up in other films and he'll probably be like, oh, it's really fucking weird that I'm here. I can't kill anybody and I can't say fuck. And then like he goes away, you know, and people will be like, oh, that's really funny. And that'll be it. You know, who cares? I don't fucking care. It's fun. Shut up.
I did. I really enjoyed this tweet. I meant to send you a screenshot of it, but it was the hero shot from Deadpool and Wolverine where it's Blade and Gambit, and Deadpool and Wolverine, and am I forgetting somebody?
Yes, you're forgetting Elektra and X-23. You fucking misogynist.
I don't know if X-23 was in the photo.
You fucking misogynist.
But anyway, it was all of them lined up.
Yeah,
and it was like Deadpool and Wolverine is so weird because like you would see this picture and it would be from like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, and you would get a bonus for picking all these characters at random, and it would say something like, the Bad Squadron or something to give you the XP bonus.
That's fine. I will say this: now that you've referenced like that, like this is the trash of Marvel films,
the discarded like MCU people. Yeah,
in the credits, they had a montage of all the behind the scenes of all of the 20th century Fox films, and they referenced everything. They had like, Hugh Jackman's first time wearing the suit and being in X-Men 1.
When he's not completely steroided out before that was the norm,
Yeah, they've got, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. They even reference, Michael B. Jordan and all the other guys in that failed Fantastic Four reboot.
Josh Trank's one.
Yeah, exactly. They have Elektra and Ben Affleck as Daredevil. Wow. They have like everything, and then at they
own the rights to it now. They can just throw it in there for free.
Right. But it was a nice send off, and they were like, thanks for the memories, and to the forgotten heroes kind of thing. It was it was really nice. It was nice for like these actors who were in these films that have been forgotten or lampooned and whatnot, and like
because a lot of them were bad.
I know, I understand that they're bad, but that doesn't mean that people didn't put in hard work to do them. Like as it was pointed out, like fucking Wesley Snipes was a trailblazer.
Okay, well, Blade 1 and 2 were good movies.
Yes,
they still are.
I understand, but like that's because those were good movies. We have what we have today.
Yeah,
and
we have all the slop that is getting slopped up by all the sloppy little piggies.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Well, folks, that's been our show. Thank you for listening to Debaser. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to us on your podcast app and follow us on social media by searching for @DebaserPod. Our wonderful co-host is Will, who's probably not happy with me right now. Will,
I don't fucking care.
Where can people find you? And what would you like to
You
plug?
can find me on my couch rewatching all the 20th Century Fox
what do you mean rewatching?
Films.
You ain't fucking seen Blade. You ain't seen a single Blade movie.
That's true, I have not. And I'm not gonna now. Fuck you, Jared. Oh, that's my Instagram. Fuck you. Don't even follow me. Don't even worry about it.
How many good X-Men movies are there even? Like
0. I hate
2?
them all. I hate all.
You hate all of them?
Yeah, they're bad.
Whoa. There's some good ones.
They didn't put them in the yellow outfits.
For the Debaser Podcast, I'm Jared Rusk. Good night.